and everything else. What have you been up to with your people? We can talk all the things without starting from there.
Montserrat, like the rest of the country, we we are doing okay under the circumstances. Um, we have issues with the Western cluster trucking through Montserrat County with the iron ore and polluting the community without the kind of safeguards that should be put in place. We have, I was speaking with the Minister of Public Works in the last few weeks. We have our focus attention on the Clay Ashland Bridge there in Clay Ashland. And without seeking to take personal credit, we we are thankful that the LEC is expanding to communities across Montserrat County. I had a discussion with the representative of District Number 17 in my office. I spoke to him. He came to me, and we had a discussion along with the Minister of Public Works to suspend the demolition of 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 the people's homes in the District 17 area around the Hotel Africa environment vicinity, to give them some time to relocate. We will not prevent or be in the way of government's development, but we must understand that we have to be our people's representatives and seek their interest where they are in distress. We are nearing 90% completion of the first public library to be constructed from government money
Where?
at Tottenham Campus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we are 90% near completion of the first public library for Montserrat County. That is under my office from government money. 1 year legislative project on a list. I placed the superintendent of the county, Warwick Bryan, directly in charge of that. They did the vetting for the contractor. The the facility is there. We wrote MCSS to allow that public land to be used for public good, and they allow that. Tottenham High also allowed that. So we are 90% complete with the construction of the public library, and there are other things that we're doing across Montserrat County that probably during this conversation we'll have some elaboration on them.
In terms of the social development funds, I had the other representatives yesterday. Sometimes there are issues with how it comes. Are there any concerns?
Look, we have a situation in our country where if you were a Christian or you are a Christian and you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and you know Satan is the devil, there are some people who believe that even if Satan said Jesus is the Son of God, they will argue because they won't see the message, they will see the messenger first. I'm a Christian. I'm not a devout one. But I believe Jesus is the Son of God, and the Bible tells me that Satan is the devil, and nothing good comes from Satan. But if Satan came to me and appeared in his Satan form and said, Dylan, Jesus is the Son of God, I'm not going to argue because Satan talking. I already know that Jesus is the Son of God. It's not a debate. I'm using this to respond to you. I don't like this legislative project thing. Honestly, I don't like it. I frown against it all the time. But you see, as much as we frown against it, frown upon it, if you open the line, some people will ask me, say you begin Senator, what are you not doing in the country? They want to know what
Maybe
project.
that is why people are indoctrinated too.
Exactly the point. So when you have one or two persons who are trying to tell you this is not the way to do it, and you think the majority is right, you're discouraging the 1 or 2 persons because these 1 or 2 persons or 4 or 5 persons never get in majority to change everything. To change everything. Even in my legislative role, I am more focused on reform for our country. I put a bill on the floor. Let's reform and amend statute of limitation in our fight against corruption. I listened to Representative Musa Belete last night on Spoon Talk, and I will give attribution to where I listened to him. I listened to him on Spoon Talk, and he said, when I become president, or if I become president, I'm quoting Musa Belete, you make me president, I will make sure we pass law that no lawmaker and government official will make more than 5,000. 5,000 will be the ceiling. I have a law on the floor. I have a bill on the floor. Musa Belete and other lawmakers don't have to be president before we pass that law. The law is on the floor. Let's rally around. If we, 103 of us, or say 100 of us, apart from the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tem, if 103 of us took salary of 5,000 or below, right from the legislature, from 100 lawmakers, we save the country $4 million. I already finished finding $4 million, how we can save the country to put it to other sectors. Just by making 5,000, we save the country $4 million.
That is annually.
Annually. Somebody say, oh, Dillon just being political, Dillon is fake. Challenge majority of my colleagues to be fake like me, let me 5,000. And see if the 4 million we save the country will be fake to go to other sector. Then we can take that same courage to the executive and to the judiciary to reduce what the high salary is. I listened to my colleague, Representative Musa Belete, on Spoon Talk also last night. He said, you made me president, I will make sure the statute of limitation in the fight against corruption will extend the term. I already put statute of limitation law bill on the floor. It passed in the Senate in July of this year. Statute of limitation is the law that extends how long it can take for government to prosecute you for crime that is not bailable. That bill I put on the floor, it passed in the Senate in July. It was appropriately transmitted to the House of Representatives where Musa Belete and others are. Just pick up that law for them and concur with it. Because my bill that the Senate passed, it took statute of limitation from 5 years, as it is, to 10 years.
Maybe the same way you lobbied with your Senate colleagues, you should do that with the House too?
When a law is passed from one house, it's read in the chambers of another house, no matter who submitted or sponsored the law or the bill. It was read formally in the Senate, in the House, after it was passed in the House, in the Senate. So here's the thing here. The statute of limitation bill that I put on the floor that was passed in the Senate in July. The current statute of limitation law says if you committed corruption crime against this country or any other crime against the person, once it is a crime, felony, 5 years after, nobody can prosecute you again if prosecution was not commenced within 5 years. My bill I put on the floor that passed in the Senate took it from 5 years to 10 years, but with something that is not in the current statute of limitation law, especially in our fight against corruption. My bill says, the current law says, after 5 years, nobody can prosecute you even if they have evidence. My bill that passed into law from the Senate, now before the House, says, prosecution, 10 years window for prosecution begins from the discovery, the date of the discovery of the crime, not when the crime was committed.
Okay.
Now, to simplify, Julius, if I was 20 years old and I committed saying it is the most sentimental talking. If I was 20 years old and I committed a corruption-related crime, I managed to suppress it until I turned 60 years old. There are 40 years in between. But if at the age of 60, then they discovered that when I was 20 years old, I committed a corruption crime or a felony, not in the first degree, because first degree felony is not, it has no statute of limitation. So corruption related, aggravated, or any crime, if I committed that crime when I was 20 years old and I turned 60 years old, and at the age of 60, they discovered that I committed that crime when I was 20 years old.
That's when the 10
Then
years
when the
start.
10 years starts for prosecution, it is not in the current law. How that law is bad, the current law, how is it bad? Honorable President Salif, Clemency Yue and the board of NOCAL did some stuff at NOCAL along with Robert Salif. After 5 years, Ellen Johnson Salif took Clemency Yue then to court. Ellen Johnson Salif government took Clemency Yue then to court to prosecute them for corruption crime. The court said, hey, maybe you all got case, but 5 years finished, so you can't do anything to these people. My bill upon the floor that passed in the Senate says, from the date of the discovery of the crime,
That's
now
really
when
yes.
it was committed.
It is almost like the war crimes thing. People in World War II that did stuff, some were just prosecuted.
Correct.
So let me just hold you there. You mentioned Musa Bilete. I would have waited for calling in segment, but since
You
it is
calling to
out,
back me, huh?
no, I don't know why he is calling. So let's
Yeah, I
let's
want
hear
to
from
do
you
it
first.
now. You shouldn't
Yeah,
wait to
yeah,
be
let-
president for. No, my man.
Representative Musa Bilete, the political leader of the CMC, you were mentioned. Why? Why do you want to wait to be president before you talk about bringing salaries down to 5,000 and the issue of statute of limitation? Why do you need to be president first? Allegedly, you said those.
Thank you, and thank you to the senator. I'm so happy today. I finally found something that me and Senator Dillon can work on together.
Oh.
This is something that I promised him. I'm not very open with the law, so I will visit his office. I want him to tell me what exactly I need to do in the house to lift that bill, to bring it before the house so that we can push it. I believe that we'll have the necessary vote to push it. I also, in all of the two bills, I'm 100% for them. That's why I was speaking about it. I also want Senator Dillon to also do me a favor. Today, the Liberian people, we have a bill that we passed to give right to Liberians to participate in their government system and to protect certain jobs for Liberia, which is in the immigration bill. I passed that in the House and it's currently before the Senate. I hope that he agrees with that bill so that he can also help me on that side so that we can pass it. This kind of collaboration, irrespective of politics, is why we were brought to that place. And I make this public commitment that starting this week, I really don't know how it works, so I will go to Senator Dillon. I know he's more experienced in law than me, so I will sit with him. He will guide me through how we can get this before the House, the two bills that he has. Some lawmakers were telling me that at the end of a session, if the bill does not go through, then it has to start its run again. I'm hoping that he did pass those bills this very session we are in now, which is the 55th. If not, if the law is otherwise, then definitely I want to work with him. Let's work together. Let's find ways to work together as lawmakers. It should not always be that we should oppose one another. I'm in 100% agreement with the senator and Julius, you being our witness here.
Yeah.
I promise if there's a bill from the senator, I will get on it immediately in the House. I will lift it. I will bring it forward. I will ask for the discharge petition, and I will get a necessary vote to put that bill on the floor so that we debate it and pass it for the benefit of our culture. It's a major anti-corruption fight. I was in the House the other day when I said we should audit the House for the 10 years back. The Speaker told me, oh, the way back is no longer law. It is painful because if people hide behind not to prove they're innocent by hiding behind technicality, then the fight for corruption will not go anywhere.
Okay.
So at this point in time, I'm hoping that the senator will join me to also agree a joint resolution for all the entire legislature. He and I can champion that as well, so that we can audit the entire legislature for the sake of posterity. I believe that he is a man on a mission. I'm sure he will not, refuse to join me that. So we can find all of these. Whether or not he agrees with my bills or my proposal, I am committed unconditionally. He doesn't have to agree with mine, but unconditionally, the one that he has, I agree with them, and I will support him, and I will immediately by next week make sure that that bill is in front, at least the speaker, so that I can push him to bring it up to the floor for debate. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so kindly for your call, sir. So you have an ally there.
So I respect the position of my colleague, Representative Musa Belete, who is also the political leader of CMC. The bill is before the House. It passed the amendment on the statute of limitation bill is before the House. It passed the Senate in July on this 55th. And so we expect that our colleagues in the House will see reason to concur so that the president can pass it into, approve it, and publish it into handbills, and it becomes law in our country, where you know that if you committed a crime, a non-bailable crime, no matter how long it takes, the day they discover it, and good evidence is still available, they will prosecute you. What that does, it can serve as deterrent. Right now, LACC is challenged. The Ministry of Justice is challenged with the current statute of limitation law. If you follow the U.S. politics, the Trump government, whether it was politically driven, charged and sent to court Jim Comey, the former CIA director. The court dismissed the case yesterday on 2 grounds. One, the prosecutor was not legally employed. The federal prosecutor was not legally employed by President Donald Trump. Oh. And 2, that even if the case will be refiled against James Comey, the statute of limitation will play in his favor because the time to prosecute him for what they say they want to prosecute him for has passed under the statute of limitation. So right now in America, the discussion is to review the statute of limitation law to extend the time. In Liberia, Senator Dillon and the rescue mission will already file ahead the Senate on a my bill to review and amend statute of limitation to all meet and extend the time. We are already far ahead. The House of Representatives should kindly act so that the president can approve that. It can give the LACC teeth to bite, more teeth to bite, and it can also serve as deterrent against commission of these kind of crimes in our country.
Okay, good. So he also asked you for some favors. You going to hear from him?
Sure. Representative Musa Belete and I, we speak on the phone sometimes regularly. He comes to my office. I've been to his office. Forget about all the rigmarole we had together against one another in Liberty Party. That is behind us. The people who don't understand that you need to put some things behind you and move ahead. That the people who still stuck in the past. Right now, Musa Belete is political leader of his party, but he's representative in the House of Representatives. For us to make 5,000, I will need more votes. A week or so ago, my colleague, my former boss man, but my colleague now, who himself takes pride in the fact that I was his chief of staff before, now I'm seeing him in the Senate by ranking. I'm the 3rd official in the Senate. I'm talking about Senator Edwin Snow. So I'm not trying to say in a denigrating way. My colleague put a communication on the floor and requesting that because we have a $1.2 billion projected budget, we must restore harmonization. And I did an amendment to the motion because I welcome his communication. I did an amendment to the motion that one of the ways we can help to restore harmonization and prove to the people that we mean it, you bring my bill back on the floor so we can pay 5,000. Then money generated from reducing our salary can also help to restore and harmonization or go to other sector. Senator Snow agreed. Sunday evening, I think it was Sunday, Senator McGill was on Spoon, and to the effect he said that he agreed that with my bill for 5,000, I don't want us to just be talking on the radio. We gotta go vote for it in the legislature so it can turn the law. And,
Yeah, so let's see how it will play out at the House of Representatives. Before we clear up Monserrato and we'll go to other issues now.
Yeah.
I'm not taking calls, folks. It is not calling time yet. Y'all stop calling.
And I wanted to make part of you.
Why?
And you talk political leader Musa Belede in the middle of my conversation.
Yeah.
When the days of my mention my name on your air, when I'm calling you, I take my own call in the middle.
Now, Monserrato, we already talking 2029. There's a whole lot. Once you mention Delon, you divide opinion.
Yeah.
Some people say you are their best senator. Some say no, he's a fake light.
He's
He's
fake,
a former light,
Yeah.
a Chinese light.
Yeah.
They're not carrying you back 2029. Are you running 2029 in Monserrato?
I cannot be talking about 2029, 2025. You see, if I were in opposition and looking to run, I would be talking about 2029. I'm in the office. I cannot be competing with the people who can just talk outside for 2029. In 2025, I will not be talking 2029 politics in office. The people who are not in office are free to talk about 2029. That's why I even tell my own rescue people, you're the one making citizen opposition to believe that 2029 is tomorrow morning. You're competing with opposition. Opposition ain't got nothing to do with this other talk. You who get the power and the solution, solve the problem, 2029 will play itself. In 2020, next year, 2026, I will be talking 2026 and doing 2026. The people who want 2029, that they don't want to pray for it to come fast.
Are you troubled by Martin Colley's desire to run and the kind of support he seems to be getting from young people who support you?
No, I'm not troubled. You see the seat I occupy, it's not my power farm. Plenty of people been in that seat before. One of the persons that sat in that seat that I adore, even in death, Charles Bronski. I mean, in our Senate. The seat Senator Lawrence is in is where Charles Bronski was, but I mean in that Senate. I know what it means. And myself being in the Senate, I got my own experience from when I was outside. So it's easier to be outside and talk. When you go inside, you know. For me, Senator Dillon, I am way past the childish small talk and the petty politics. The people cannot give us power, see us as solution drivers. Then we be behaving like opposition. No.
Do you think his critiques of you are genuine or not? Are they rightful or not?
Sometimes I think he just playful about it. Sometimes I take his critique as something that should help to keep me on track, even if he means it otherwise. And if it was not respect for you and the audience are listening, I would have already trashed out the discussion. Because for me to be saying that in 2025 as senator, and somebody who's going to be in ESA and running business in the country that won't get him.
What do you mean when you say someone who's supposed to be
but
ESA? Is he in ESA?
And Martin Colley, you asked me about, and Martin in ESA from where? From foreign country? He in ESA from where? From Liberia. Who won't get him? When he in ESA, there are plenty of things you can get free. Relax.
Are you considering Bassa to run in Bassa 2029?
No.
Because people say Senator Dillon is building in Bassa. It is like he also wants to do a snow.
No. You can keep the other recording. Chief, if I decide I don't want to be in politics again, I don't have to change content. for legislative seat. I've been in that place 2029 by January. I will be 11 and a half years in the legislature. If I decide to run or not to run.
There was a point when you were being touted for a VP post.
I told people no. You see, one of the things about us, we don't like to be true to ourselves. One of the things that gave President Weah hard time, he was not true to himself. The people love him, but he didn't show love to the people. By saying no, you leave me about presidency, I'm ready. Just because you're popular and 3 persons can clap for you, does not mean you qualify or competent to be president or vice president. Look, let me tell you something. There are some people who love you so much that they can tell you to fly the plane when they're inside. You got to love them more in yourself to say, no, I can't fly the plane. It's just as simple as how I want to answer you. Talking me for vice president in 2023 and all that thing, it was just intended. In fact, it was out of the game to put CPP in more disarray. I refuse to do that.
Now, let's come to there has been this rigmarole between.
So before we go there, let me repeat this thing.
Which one?
About the reduction in our salary and some of these reforms bill that we're putting up. I want the public to challenge majority lawmaker to fake like me so we can reduce our salary to 5,000. Agree with my bill to reduce our salary to 5,000 and see what are the $4 million plus that will be generated just from the legislature will be fake to go back to the other sectors or to increase or tap civil servant salary. Let's see whether that will be fake. Let majority fake like me.
Okay. You have been having some issues with some citizens of Nimba because of your stance on labor issues. They think you've been targeting, that you may have had some issues with the folks at labor because of ethnicity and all those kinds of things. At some point, it appeared to me that you were scared. You were always like, this is life-threatening and all of that. And you even went on a rant at the Senate. What is it really? And have we come to a point where both sides have understood what it is about?
You know, Julius, everything is political in our country to the extent where if somebody is standing in the middle of the road, the motor road, and a speeding truck is coming, and you tell that person a speeding truck is coming and your life is at risk, the first thing the person may look at, not you, not the truck, for their own life. The first thing the person will look at is who telling me that truck coming, a speeding truck coming. That person from my party. If you're not from that person party, that truck will clear them. Because they're hearing it from somebody who is not from the party. The whole country is so politically polarized. So much so that everything is viewed from a political perspective. Where the person from? What is the political position? What is the political party? What is the political alignment? Before I listen to what it's saying. I lay this premise to say, I cannot be against the people of Nimba. I cannot be, and I am not against Nimba. But because they've been having this kind of, some people been having this kind of chatter or talk, and they don't fair because they lost the VP slot, this and that. And we didn't get a VP slot from our own Liberty Party. But even some people who were not close to being named as running mate to President Bouaka, now President Bouaka, in 2023 when he was candidate, even some people who were not close to being named there, they got so disenchanted, disappointed, and high sentimentally, politically, they refused to support our ticket. But we did. I led Montserrado County to win the election for Boakai and Kun, for Kun to be vice president of Liberia, we knew you were from Nima. Nyombli Kanga Lawrence agreed to be the chair lady, the chairperson of the Boakai Kun campaign across the country for us to make Boakai and Jeremiah Kun president and vice president. Knowing that the vice president is at the heartbeat of the presidency of any country in any democracy. I was everywhere, not only in Montserrat County, everywhere the campaign could carry me for my voice to elevate the Boakai Kun ticket. Knowing that Kun, Jeremiah Kun, a young man who would all love, respect for Nima County, with a very likelihood that he can be president from our decision. I stood on top of my car. I was everywhere in this county. But that, without attempting to seem to want to appeal to sentiment, but that's a fact. There were some people who all started the rescue mission together. They said, once you take Kun, we're not taking you again. Boakai, you on your own. We, who the country at least believed or felt that he would take Nyombli Basa woman to be a running mate. When he called us, SYZ, we say, it's about the country. We'll go with the ticket. Knowing that Kun, at that time, Kun was not cool. Jeremiah Kun, he was not far. After the election was won, I campaigned for, meaning in the Senate, I voted for Kobo Kra, Labor Minister, to be Labor Minister. I voted. And you know, one of the lights I put on in the Senate, nobody can challenge their vote this time because it's on the record. No, they're not here and there on the crucial things. Everybody vote on the record. Yes or no, or abstain or absent. Nobody can say, no, I vote or I voted. The record is there. I voted for Jeremiah, I voted for Kobo Kra to be Minister of Labor. I voted for Sekou Koma to be Minister of Post and Telecommunication. Forget about whether he's a Mandingo member, he's from Nima. There are about 13 ministers or ministerial slot at the Ministry of Labor, minister, deputy, and assistants. 9 out of the 13 are from Nima. I voted yes for all of them, including Kobo Kra and the assistant and the deputy, to be minister, deputy, and assistant. The former DA director, A.B. Koma, he's from Nima. I voted for him to be DA director. After A.B. Koma, I voted for Anthony Swore to be DA director. In fact, he was cousin or uncle to the late Senator Prince Johnson. I voted for him to be DA director until the administration screwed up and President Boakai replaced them to the current, acting. And you can go across the entire government where nomination and vote was required to confirm people. Everybody from Nima, I voted yes on the record. I cannot be anti-Nima. What Kobo Kra and some of his folks are doing is just dangerous. To say that during your confirmation hearing, I was clear when I said, I will make you Minister of Labor. After 6 months, I will invite you back here to the Senate so we can review work permit, so that we can revoke work permit and don't renew work permit, don't extend them, so that Liberians can get jobs as store boss, as accountants, as welders, as electricians, as mechanics, in any part of Liberia where Liberians are qualified and available to work and earn a living. Mr. Minister, do you agree? He said yes. The video is there. During his confirmation hearing. And after 6 months to 1 year, I called the minister back on the Senate, and all of us said, and when I voted for Kobo Kra in 2024, February, thereabout, Kobo Kra was not kissy man. I voted for him to be Minister of Labor. So my oversight to push Cooper Cry to make sure that he don't give Liberians, job that Liberians are qualified and available to do, then it can be because he's from Nimba. It can be because he killed man. Now, I went on the rampage these few days because Cooper Cry went to Ministry of Information MICAT press briefing, the government run platform, and lied that the president nominated him to be Minister of Justice, and R. Dillon fought it, and the president withdrew his nomination. That was a lie. And
Serious indeed.
I think it is.
Good evening, folks. Welcome, Vic Sibling, to BKS TV, and welcome to the Heat Hour program here on BKS TV. On the Heat Hour, we see dialogue and our confrontation. We see words and bullet. In tonight's edition of the show, we'll be hosting Councillor Garrison Dode Yelu Jr. Councillor Garrison Dode Yelu is the former representative of Electoral District 4 Nima County. He joined us here tonight on the Heat Hour to discuss the recent communication that was sent to Speaker Richard Nangbe Kun by Representative of Electoral District 7 Nima County, Honorable Musa Hassan Belite, who also having to be the political leader of the Citizen Movement for Change. And of course, we don't have time in our favor. We've gone like 30 minutes into the show. Therefore, we will bring on Councillor Yelu. Councillor Yelu, good evening and welcome. Big evening. See you. How you doing, Chief? You got
I'm
to bring
doing.
you together.
Yeah, bring my brother. Bring me and my brother together, man. You know, my brother is my brother. That's why I got brothers. You know, even though he's what they call Madrid fan, and he hates Man U, to the gut there. But I still love him. He's a great brother. I just called him, man, 2 minutes ago to come and talk to her about this topic, and he just consented. That's what brothers do. We all do that for Nima County, and I want to say thank you so much, my brother, for abruptly making time for us, and being one of the major contributors to this platform. I want to say thank you on behalf of the platform and everybody else.
Thank you, my brother. It's always my pleasure. And let me apologize to you people. The last time we should have been in Gamta. Unfortunately for us in Vine, we had 2 death issue, and it was just in row. And the woman who passed away, he was like an elder to me who was very nice to me, woman Heron Dickley. So there was no way that I could just skip his funeral. So I'm so sorry. And we are working on something, and we'll get to you guys very soon, because the endeavor in the county is for we all, and we appreciate what you guys are doing for our county and our young people. You see, Jian Ping is here. He's a very young, brilliant young guy, and today having to moderate such a big platform, it provides young people an opportunity to say, if Jian can do this, we too can do more than what Jian is doing. So, CEO, thank you, and it's a pleasure always to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, Honorable. It's great having you on here as always. And of course, we want to say those of you just joining us, Vic Sibling, you are about to listen to Councillor Garrison Dode Yelu, one of the major issue right now happening in the country. I don't know how I should call that violation of our constitution or what, but Councillor Yelu having to be a lawyer and also a former representative in Liberia has more knowledge about VIX, and he will expand on it tonight for us. So we ask you to please share the show with other people. Invite somebody to listen alongside you, VIX. If you're listening to us via radio on Voice of Tapata and Voice of BK respectively, or if you are also watching us on Facebook and YouTube, we ask you to share the show with somebody too as well. Councillor Yelu, your comrade and your Lena colleague, Honorable Musa Hassan Belite, today wrote a communication to Speaker Richard Nangbe Kun. And in that communication, he expressed some major concern. And you two took upon your time vexingly to dive into the issue. So, enlighten our minds on it. What say you on that?
Well, I read I followed the communication from Honorability, and then I also read on the Facebook the education that was meant from the senator who I admire a whole lot to Honorability. And I've been in the House of Representatives, the 53rd. I serve on the budget committee, and then also as a chair on public, a co-chair on public account in the expenditure, and also co-chair on the investment concession and a ranking member on the judiciary committee. So we try to just differ a bit with what the honorable said today, because in the minds of the framework of the Constitution, it was not the intent. And since it was not the intent, and trying to compromise the check and balance of the revenue bill that happens to be with the budget, there is something that worry everybody, because the essence of that particular provision in the Constitution, Article 34BR, is to tell you that is Article 34DR is to tell you that it will start with the House of Representatives. They make it simple. The senator, it goes to the senator when the representatives have concluded their work. It goes to them. They will now review it also. The other amend or concord. So with that, the framework is just simply telling you, after the lower house have done their work, you have the supervision power to review what they have done. And you either agree to them or you amend it. But to say you'll be doing it simultaneously, concomitantly, then it's troubling. So when you all do it together, who's going to review it? Who's going to amend? Who's going to concord when it is done together? It's not the intent. Yes, mind you, when we were in the legislature, what used to happen there is that we do it jointly for what? For economic consumption of time. So we say, look, the committee from the Senate and those of us from the House of Representatives, we jointly look at it. But notwithstanding, it will still be passed by the lower house before we send it to them to review it. So you're not going to, the senator will not take another 2 months, 3 months to review the process. So we do it jointly, and then after everything, we pass it before it is forward to them. If the framework of the Constitution wanted it to be done concomitantly, they will say it will be done concomitantly. That power is inherently with the House of Representatives. It's just like what I said, for instance, impeachment. Is the senator telling us the bill of impeachment, when the House of Representatives is hearing the bill of impeachment, will they also be having impeachment hearing? Going ahead with the impeachment? No. You have to allow one house to complete their work, and then it comes to your own house. So to say to the public that you are providing an education, and when the Constitution is unambiguous, then it does not require education, because the text is plain. It's very plain. So it would mean that a landed senator like Abraham Darrell Dillon will come to provide an education that is legally on the table. You understand? So that's the issue we are having. But in my mind, yes, it's just like when we used to have election for city mayor, and then when Madam Sadi came, she said she started appointing city mayor, and then CDC and Liberty Party went to court, and the court said tradition is not the law. So what he's trying to say is, what the court said, that tradition is not the law, to hell with tradition. The law says revenue bill originates from the lower house. That's the detail of Article 34DR. So you can't come back and change it and say we will do a concomitant. So we're going to review the work.
So now, in a layman understanding, Council, what is the complication between what is going on currently with the House of Representatives and the House of Senate? In layman understanding, for the old lady in your boot to understand, the old lady listening to you, interpreter in Yahweh Mesolon, to understand what is going on currently, because there's a similar thing happening. Let me take it back to the issue of the speakership. It all started like this, with this oil and pool, not having one understanding. Now with the budget, instead of
Mhm.
the House of Representatives doing the job that they're supposed to do according to the 1986 Constitution, then the Senate are doing it for them. What is the complication here in the layman term?
The complication is that there will not be check and balance, and they will be fighting, and maybe there will be some things that the lower house will forget. It should be the upper house to say, look, I think our colleague down there, they made some mistake, and we got to amend and make sure we correct this. When you have them now doing it concomitantly, I mean, they're doing it together. I mean, you are defeating the purpose and intent of the Constitution. And that is not the intent of the framer. The framer wanted an independent body to look at it from down, and then when it goes up, another group look at it and say, look, what our brother did down there, yeah, it's good, we agree. Or we're going to propose an amendment to what they did down there. But now, our senator is saying they should do it concomitantly. No law stop. No law stop. The Constitution is clear. When there is no ambiguity in the Constitution, then you are bound by, you are legally barred from exercising that function. So how will you say there is no law that stops the senator from exercising that in the origination of clause? There is a law. Article 34D(R) read it, it's clear. It says what you can do, what the senator can do, and what the House of Representatives can do. So if we are not careful in this country, the way people interpret our laws, it will put us into big confusion. It will put us into big confusion. So I don't really like to go to people when they're talking about the lower house or the legislature, because I was there maybe doing Justice Jonathan when they were removing him, we wrote. But I always like to say I was there before. We understand the political tension at times, but for us to sit and allow the wrong thing be done, it's not fair. We have to provide the education, especially when someone say you want to provide an education to our kinsmen. And we know the education you provide is haphazard. It's not factual. And I challenge anybody to say there is no law. You read Article 34D(R), read it. So if Article 34D(R) says XYZ, then you say there is no law, there is a law. I'm sure the CEO will get a constitution, he can read it for us there.
Yeah,
Let me do that for the sake of those that are listening to us, because I think this conversation is more interesting. Well, it's taking me to another trend. In a post-war Liberia, this is the first time for us to have 1.2 billion proposed budget. Now, with this 1.2 billion, instead of the House of Representatives doing their work separately and the House of Senate doing their work separately, we are experiencing the both houses doing it coordinatedly. What is going on? What is the hurry? What is the rush? But I think the council is here, and maybe he can respond to those things. But let me read a constitution from here. Then
Yep.
the CEO will come in and we keep it up. It's Article 34DI. It says all revenue bills, whether subsidies, charges, imposts, duties, or taxes, and other financial bills shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendment as on other bills. No other financial charges shall be established, fixed, lie, or level on any individual, community, or locality under any pretext whatsoever, except by the express consent of the individual, community, or locality. In all such cases, a true and correct account of funds collected shall be made to the community or locality. That's what Article 34DI says.
So,
The
so you
first
see just what I said. So I saw someone making a comment. I was trying to respond, but then I was already coming. He said there is no law, there is law. At what point the senator will come in is that when the lower house have completed their work, because the only time you will come into to propose amendment or concur mean that the first group they have completed their work and they have send it over to your house. As we speak, the budget is not a property of the House of Senate. As we speak, Constitutionally, it's not a property of the Senate until the House of Representatives can do their work and forward it to the House of Senate officially. The budget is not the House of Senate. So every time you will see the budget will be presented to the House of Representatives, to the Speaker. They are not giving it to the pro tem or to the Vice President. They are giving it to the Speaker because this is where it will start from. So the only time the budget becomes an instrument of the Senate is that when the House of Representatives have concluded their work and they have transmitted it to the House of Senate. Until, as we speak, it is still with the House of Representatives. But traditionally, what we used to do in the past is we say, well, to not take too much time on the budget and then the public outcry and civil servant and people working, to not have too much confusion, we can have a joint hearing. And at that joint hearing, you know who presides over the budget? The chairman on Ways and Means in the House of Representatives. He presides over the budget. It's not the senator. So even when we conclude with the budget, it will still come to our chamber. We have to pass on it before it is transmitted to the House of Senate. So for Honorable Dillon, who happened to be former Chief of Office Staff to the former Speaker Edwin Melvin Snow, to even write that like he provide education and somebody coming to say there is no law, there is a law. The law is a constitution and it's written in black and white, in plain simple terms, in Article 34D of our Constitution. So that's my point. That's my point exactly. So the education, my brother, or the senator that so much admire wants to provide to my kinsmen, I think that education is far-fetched, and I don't think it's meant to even be curtailed in sixth grade class who are doing service. Because even in service, they will tell you who the budget starts with and who it ends with. You understand?
Thank you.
So that's what we were trying to say.
Thank you. CEO, over to you now. Let's welcome to the show my brother Cyrus Dankwan. Good evening and welcome. CEO, let's hear you, Chief.
I think I'm the only non-lawyer or the only person with no legal background here. So I'll let you guys talk about it in more details. But from a common standpoint, general, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So historically, as the council said, that historically it has been that way. Besides the law stating that, any revenue bill originates from the House and then move to the Senate, historically, based on Liberian history, it has always been that way. And I think it's a little troubling if a lawmaker, someone who's in the Senate, a senator, tried to massage the law or make it look like he's interpreting the law when it's in plain black and white that we all can understand from reading. And my question to you, or my concern here is, they do the same thing in the U.S. here as well. It can take forever. I think you even follow recently the budget where the U.S. government shut down for a long time. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was long. Everything shut down. Most of those benefits were not going through, but the people they stood firm, and they never agreed to some of the things that were in the bill. You know where? From the House, right? And we know, you guys know how our Constitution mirrors that of the U.S. So if both, based on his argument, if we agree with what he's saying, if the lower house and the upper house decide to do it concurrent together, then how would you guys disagree on the things that are within there if everything is being done together? What
happens here? What we used to do in the legislature is that before the budget will come, we will have a resolution that will join it, have a budget hearing together jointly. Okay. It's not concomitantly done separately, where the senator having their own budget hearing, then the House of Representatives having their own budget hearing. It's not so. It is not done concomitantly separately. We do it jointly. In the spirit of not take too much time, we want to do it so that people can go to work, the project, roads, education, health, people should get access to it. So we do it jointly, but notwithstanding, when we conclude the budget, it comes to the chamber of the House of Representatives. We will debate it on the floor, A motion will be placed on the floor, it will be passed, and when there is no motion for reconsideration, the budget will be what forward to the House of Senate for their concurrent or amendment. You understand?
Right.
So for them to come and say we'll do concomitantly, and there is no law distinctly concomitantly, there is no law that's stopping you, there is law.
So let me ask my last.
I come in the English word concur.
Mm-hmm.
When you might doing something together, anybody gets right to concur.
No.
When you concur, it means somebody have done something where you have to agree to it.
Mm-hmm.
So look at it, it's very simple. You say concur or you may amend. So when the man finish doing it now, when you start from there, say, okay, they want your day, we don't think is in the interest of the people. We think we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. Then you amend or you say, well, I think what your day is an excellent work, and we will agree to it.
The senator said
it's just the same thing like or bill of impeachment.
right.
So the senator is saying now, maybe since it is written in plain black and white, when you have a bill of impeachment in the lower house, they too will be having impeachment hearing. So while the indictment is being prepared and read there,
They're already hearing it.
then the hearing will also be taking place. on the bill of impeachment will also already be taking place. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
When there's a distinction in the Constitution, the institute will do it jointly. And they separate it, you have to listen to it.
Yeah. And then he said in his post that he said they will start their hearing, and then the lower house will do their own, and then from there they will meet. If there's any material differences, then they will go back and meet again to be able to put that together, which I think is a waste of time. But my question to you is, based on your experience and knowing all these things, what do you think is the underlying reasons why they are rushing with, especially a $1.2 billion budget? That's a big deal. Why are they rushing? Why they are doing it this way?
I think I don't want to speculate as a lawyer, but from my political eyes, it's a smoke somewhere where you see lawmakers that should sit down and say, look, the two leadership in the House of Senate and House of Representatives should meet and say, look, let's do the budget jointly so that we cannot consume time. So it can, after 1 month in the House of Representatives, come here again for another 1 month, then we're going for 2 months. It will not be good for us. So since the budget needs to be passed before January, what we can do it jointly together. You understand? That is expediency. But to just leave it there and say, well, there is no law there. That is where I came in and said, no, there is law. The law is clear. You cannot say there is no law because you see now you are at that level, and what you say is now you are the Supreme Court that will interpret the Constitution when it's even written that children in high school will clearly understand that it's troubling for the country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, CEO. Thank you. Let's welcome to the show DK Wade, DK Cleveland. Welcome. Over to you now, my brother Cyrus Daquan. If you have questions, you can ask too. If you don't have, you can make your input there. Your mentor, father, and someone you look up to is on the show tonight. If you get a question, you face latches behind the scene. So let me
I think that conflict of interest, every man when we ask it, man. That man, that softball question you'll be asking Councilor Yelu.
But Councilor Yelu helping is not guest. We just wanted to discuss the whole legal thing.
But someone coming start praising the man. Someone coming start praising the man. And the man is a 4-pointer. And the man is a 4-pointer. The man can dance. And all that one. Y'all leave on one ask the man tough question.
I want one competition from the GD competition. I'm waiting for
make it reply. So go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, Junior. I miss you a special good evening to one of Nimba's best lawyers. As a matter of fact, the name Yelu is a household name not only in the legislature but in the judiciary. When you call the name Yelu, people recognize you. Good evening to our listeners. Even though I have not read DeLong post, but the way people at DeLong behave in Liberia sometimes it may our country to appear small in the eyes of people who know the subject matter under discussion. You you looking at something that is constitutionally mandated, like there are two things when from the reading junior there are two things the constitution highlighted. The guy shall, the word shall and the word may. Shall is mandatory in law. When the word shall is being emphasized, it means nobody can use discretion. It means it's a mandate. And from the reading, they said the lower house shall. So it means the lower house has that exclusive responsibility to have the budget hearing. And they said the Senate may. So either they may decide to amend it or to concur. So for Senator DeLong, a man who learned law in the mouth of people outside of school, DeLong was just behind lawyer. The same way I used to be behind Yellow. That's the same thing DeLong did. He did not go to law school. And most of the time, he parades himself as a law degree holder. He, sometimes it's laughable and he likes to cross his boundary. The very thing he's talking about constitutionally, if you try to usurp the function of another, the workings of the lower house, he knows that it is a crime. The Senate has a responsibility, and the Constitution clearly spelled that out. That this is what the Senate will do. Either you concur or the Senate may amend, and the House of Representatives shall. So I mean, like the chief said, I think they can have the discussion in joint chamber, and when they meet in joint chamber, DeLong himself knows that even their presiding officer will not preside. He knows that very well. But again, I'm not surprised. Like I said the other time on the show, Liberia is why it is because we continue to misplace people in our house. We continue to misplace people. Job that certain people don't deserve, we give it to them because we are from the same side, because they give handouts, because they are rich and things. And the last time I named lawmakers are from Nimba that should not even be around our house. People there don't want Greek them, people there the district number 1 lawmakers. A lot of them don't understand when they talk about law. The new thing they can campaign with is when you ask them about issue of law, they say anybody can make law. Their function is to make law. The law you're making, you know it. The law you're going to make, you know the law you're going to make. You even get the basic foundation. So I'm not surprised that DeLong speaks the way he does. And people actually see him in our country like a big lawyer. People see in our country like a big lawyer, and most of the things he can say, most people render decision based on what they hear from DeLong. So I mean, I think the chief can make several appearances to some of the radio stations to make sure that DeLong even apologize to the public for always lying. The thing is constitutionally mandated. Why does he want to switch it in his own interest? And I don't know what's the urgency about Senate having hearing, the lower house having hearing. It seems most of them want to divert some of these funds in their own interest because from what Fonati Kofa said, and some of the things that trigger Fonati impeachment or removal, this Fonati alleged that lawmakers they can open budget line. For instance, they will go to find out or not find out some of these autonomous agency administrators say we'll add it up, we'll make it 1 million, then you'll give 500,000. The actual money that will be there for you like 500,000. Now some of the things Fonati tried to get rid of, and I had Thomas Fala, Jeremiah Kuhn, and the other guys got rich overnight. It's scary, it's embarrassing. I think the public needs to be educated. That's why we are recommending that civics should be taught in every school, primary all the way to high school, so people can get this basic knowledge. most of the people in our country are not even informed about their fundamental rights. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, you want to chip in there very quickly before we go to DK?
Okay, thank you. Like Sarah said, it's sad for us in this country. And everybody in this country knows the law. Everyone knows the law. So everyone is a lawyer. And if everyone should be a lawyer, then there is no need for the Liberian School of Law or the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law. People go to those schools to learn so that they can be trained to be a lawyer. Remember when I was living with my big brother, Adolphus Yellow, and his wife in the Dole community. So she had a fight with our neighbor. So this day, the police came by 5. They invited her to the police station. I told the first thing, because our ignorance to the law, I told them, police can arrest after 5. In 5 it's 6 o'clock, why people coming to arrest? So the police guy, being a very decent and professional guy, he said, okay, sir, that's fine, but can we go you serve for all them tomorrow morning, people will come? Myself too, because I didn't know about the law, I follow him. When we got to the place they call Pijo Gary, they have one police station up there, depot up there. We got there, say, you lock them in for obstructing justice. And I slept in prison. And from there, I got to know that some of the things we can say out, they are not legal. Like Sarah said, it says sure and me. Sure is mandatory. It didn't leave any room. It didn't say may start. It says sure. It means actually it's starting from the House of Representatives. But for the Senate, after the House of Representatives have started with their work, they have concluded. You know what happened next? They will go now to Senate or the House of Senate, and they will look at it either to agree with it or propose an amendment. And the Constitution say you're forced to even amend or agree. You say you either agree or you propose an amendment. You see? So for our brother to say there's no law, then it means the people we depend on to provide oversight that have police power in keeping with Article 34L, that they can police the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. These are the people now that's telling us they're telling us different things about the law. And the oversight, every day I hear my brother Dylan talking about Councilor Kura in oversight business with the labor ministry. That is the oversight there. That is the legislative in-house, internal oversight. One body start and you look at it. And you know what I'm saying? For the sake of what? Legislative check and balance. But now he's saying no. There is no law. So everybody run away. No law. But read the Constitution. Article 34D. It's just simple. It's just simple. And the good thing is that I'm from Vineglen, and one of those who are on the Constitutional Advisory Council, my own uncle, Samuel Wogbe, is also from Vineglen. So we build interest in the Constitution. When I was in the legislature, I used to say, the men who always believe in the Constitution. Look, there is nothing that protects us in this country more than the Constitution. It is because of the Constitution that when they were removing 10 new people, we have to go to the Supreme Court. And the court ruled in our favor. It is because of the Constitution. It's because of due process. Why is it true that the executive refused to pay us? Life is still going on. But because the Constitution is here to protect us, and if it is here to protect us, then we ourselves, we are on an obligation to protect the very Constitution. So it's a give and take. Why is protecting us? We ourselves must protect it. So when I hear the senator telling us that there is no law, and then his definition or explanation of the conference committee, we're far from reality. The conference committee comes about when the two houses they pass in two sets on one instrument. They have two different versions. They are not agreeing with each other, and on the basis of that, they form a conference committee to go and narrow it down so that they can have one version, because they will not send two versions to the president. They have to send only one version to the president. So you know what we're going to? Concomitantly, you are hearing the budget together. So we're going to, the authority on check and balance, you have eroded it. The only thing you're telling us now, we are the law and gospel. Anything we say is what will happen. And that's a very good thing about the rescue. That's a very good thing. Just yesterday, if you look all across the country, you see ministers, deputy ministers, tenure officials, non-tenure officials, they were all wearing Unity Party t-shirts.
That was going to be our next topic for you. That would be our next topic.
For political rally. But these are the same people that they took off from job to give them job because they said we violated the code of conduct. They are the beneficiary of the code of conduct. But today, they have killed the code of conduct. Do you think we have code of conduct now? What is the true intent of the code of conduct? The NPA managing director is the chairman for the rally or the fundraising rally for Unity Party in Bombing County. The reason the code of conduct came was to safeguard, so that people cannot have abuse of public resources. Now, even when you are ministers and you want to go campaign and you take leave for absence, you cannot go to campaign with the state or the vehicles and your official vehicles. Now, yesterday, the people violating code of conduct, all the people that are making noise about the code of conduct today, look at them. You look in Lima, even they go on by election. I wrote one post today. I want to do it. Sorry, and say we got to review it later because I have one long thing I wrote. Like first, that's will be our breakfast in the morning. So now I want to we can always have consultation, and for me, I always listen to them. So they say you give them a chance to review it, then they will allow me to go ahead with it. But I'm just saying to you, we have a country, and we have a duty. The country for every one of us. So in my post, if you see the issue of the woman who says she committed adultery. And the Bible said when Jesus Christ got there and said, you say what the woman did, the woman committed adultery. He said, oh, for true, okay. And Jesus asked, he said, he who had not done this be the first to stone. And my Bible said, Jesus turned around, he was writing on the ground. When Jesus turned around again, the crowd were gone. The very people, oh, the code of conduct, oh, the code of conduct, oh, the code of conduct. Look around now. On December 6th, they are forcing Silver 7 to go for their fundraising rally. Let's be honest in this country. Our thinking, you say you are trying to raise money to buy a place for your party headquarters, but you are already in actual possession of the area. You didn't buy the place, you are not even raising the fund. You just started raising the fund on weekend, but you are in actual possession. You are painted the area and everything. You're going to do everything there. So we have to be honest with ourselves in this country. If it is not good for Garrison, it should not be good for John. But today, LTA, all of the commissioners were there. They took them from there. They were all replaced by people from Lofa County. But today, who is the chair for Lofa County on the fundraiser? LTA, the head of LTA. But Zota, they took him for job because he said he campaign. He wore party t-shirt. So the loud voices in Nimba, where are they now? Where are they? We are not even reached 2020 now. We just in 2025. We're seeing the action. Imagine what will be happening in 2020 now. But these are the same people. Oh, the code of conduct. The code of conduct. The code of conduct. So maybe when the guys review the post by tomorrow or after tomorrow, it will be out because we got to get a chance to respond to all the one who posted tonight. So or then we will come up with that issue. But we'll have a very long, brilliant read out on that code of conduct issue. And Like what, you know, I listened to Senator Dillon on the issue of Copper Crew. And I really wanted to have appear on your show that day, but I was too busy. When you look at people for the county and demean them and put them in a category that the people are wicked, they are despotic, they are illiterate people. When they say Babua, the only thing they want to hear is Babua, then you can't say no, I'm not referring to the people of Nimba. Look, man, the senator should have been man enough to tell the people of Nimba sorry for what he did. You have oversight. Your oversight over Councilor Crew got nothing to do with Nimba people. Like one time we're in the house, I said, Jackson said, I'm Chia's lawmaker. We had issues with him. I think DK knows about it. We invited him. Why you think I didn't say Bassa people? We deal with Asset Jackson as Asset Jackson, Deputy Minister of Information. We never generalize the people of Grand Bassa. You have power. You are on the Judiciary Committee. You are also on the Labor Committee. You are the fourth ranking. I think the Vice President, the Pro Tem, the Chair on Executive, I think you're the fourth man in the House of Senate. You have power to bring that man. Look, when you know that you have laws and the law is not working in the interest of Liberian, correct the law. Correct the laws. Leave the thing about Gio people, about Nimba people. Leave us alone. Correct the law. You have direct proximity to the presidency. You have authority to go to the president and say, Mr. President, we need to look at the labor law. We got to be very clear that certain jobs, non-Liberian cannot do it. Today, the senator is here. He's friends with a lot of Lebanese people, but their drivers are Lebanese. He's friends with a lot of Indian people. They are drivers. They are Indians. All of the construction companies around here that are building roads, they get white men driving for them. The way to solve it is to be attacking Councilor Crew. You have the authority. Use the authority, the power. Article 34L, use it. Oversight, use it. If you know the oversight will not work and the executive is not listening, propose new law to counter the old one and repeal the old one and make it so effective and protect Liberians rather than going after people on the basis of their tribes. This is what kill people in this country for no reason. That means that Gio man, they get rid of you. That means that Mano man, they get rid of you. People die. Even people who were not in support of the revolution, who never supported war in this country because they were from Nimba, they got rid of them. We should stop this. Councilor Crew works in the executive. And you, Senator Dillon, you have a proximity to the presidency. You can walk to the president's bedroom. You can walk to the president's house. You don't need to make all that loud noise on the floor. You have the answer. You have the answer. Why are you attacking Nimba people? And to the extent that everybody on the floor, you say, I'm serious. And I honestly, between you and myself, I have a problem with Honorable Koga and Senator Toyen. They were too soft with Senator Dillon.
Yeah.
Why you call all the other one they make is why demeaning, demonizing your people, you yourself? You should have come back right there and tell him and respond to him on the floor. You should have done that. You should have not credited him. Look, I always let Larry Younger to say, where fire comes from, fire goes there. And I discussed this with the senator, not because we are told Senator Koga, Senator, I expect more from you people on this particular issue. Look, Nimba is all we have. And anybody, yes, we agree that our unity is in our diversity. But when it is on our existence and on our survival, we come together in spite of our diversity. We come together. Oh, Garrison, you do support CDC. John Brown support Unity Party. But when you have to do with our tribe, our people, we will disregard Unity Party, CDC, Liberty Party. We will come together under one umbrella to speak as the people of the country. Now, why you saw the post the last one to Senator Dillon. You have the law, you have the authority to correct that thing talking about, they want you, they want you. Why are you crying when you have the authority? Why are you crying? When you come and tell us why you cannot introduce a law or bill and say, look, we got to be stringent with this, we got to be clear. Let's look at Ghana. You go to the shopping mall in Ghana, you see sort of black people there. It is not strange thing they are doing. You think most of the businesses you see in Ghana, they are for Ghanaians? They are not for them. Me, the current vice president, Restowe, Matuneke Timba, we went Ghana several times and we have conversation with people who were in authorities. We were friends with two guys, one supporting the NPP, one supporting the NDC. And we know, you sit with them, they explain how they grew that country up to the level we're seeing it today. But we sit down when you have the power to correct or to propose a law, you don't think about that. You want to cast blame on entire tribe. They give people then when they say bad boy, when you can't speak bad boy, they will get rid of it that the people we're talking about. Look, in this country, no tribe is more peaceful in Liberia than the Nima people. No tribe. What we went through from 1982 all the way to 1990, it was painstaking. To the extent that you could not speak your dialect, gear or manner in this country. Mm-hmm. But when our people, when our brothers knew that there was no other language that President Doe could understand, and the only language he could understand was for them to rebel against him, they stood up for their people. And now what a good man will do. Even the law is saying there's only they call self-defense. So you wanted also to sit down, they get rid of the entire country and wipe Nima from on the Liberian map before we start acting, then our spirit will come. God said will be versed to us. God said will be versed to us. So when I hear people talking about Nima, I say, look, if you understand what our people went through, Nima Ray, I was in Yekepa. I saw what our fathers went through. My uncle, Moses Thier, was arrested, brought to Monrovia. And later on, they free him. What kind of real people that want to overthrow, but they will start to overthrow from Yekepa? Let's be honest in this country. These things that happen to Nima, just turn the wheel around and give it to small people who are talking. They will do more than 500 times what we did. They will do more than 500 times what we did. And I can say that clearly. Even in my practice of law, I'm always there to fight for Nimba. When I go to court and see people and say, oh, you from Nima? Go to peace vehicle and say, that man, a Nima poor lawyer, whether you get money or not, I will put myself in the case. I don't do that because I get money. Well, what do I need to survive in the country, my brother? But in spite of our diversity, we have to do with our people. We should stand up together. That's Cyrus. Someone who contested against me in 2017 have an issue. I paid their court. But you know who was a lawyer? That me. And from there, he even visited me to my house. We ate together. He said, brother, the thing people can say when you're not close to somebody is different than when you get close to the person. I say that life. So I'm just saying to us, we in our country, we have right to associate, to choose whichever party we want to choose. But when it is about our survival, our survivability, where our existence is threatened, then we got to stand up and put aside Liberty Party, CDC, Unity Party, and come together and speak in one voice. But I'm one person who have championed unity in diversity. Everybody will not be Unity partisan. Some are gonna be in CDC, other people are being Liberty Party, other people are be CMC. So we can have competition. You know why it's happening now? Because CMC is building roads, they are facing breaches, it is putting more pressure on the government to go in the hinterland to say we will face the other breach, we're putting money in the budget. Trust me, if CMC were not facing breaches, they were not or repairing the roads, carry on rehabilitation. You know what will have happened? Our people will be suffering every time. But there's somebody on their back. So it's making them now to stand up. That what is about, that what diversity will do for us. Because it will put fire on the ruling establishment back, and they will be forced to do more what they failed to not do. So
Thank you.
Nima people, we need to learn. We need to learn. Some of our friends who were here the last time we were talking, look at the jobs that people talk about. And I can say clearly, like today I was telling some of my colleagues, had it not been for the vote in Nima, you would not have Unity Party in power today. But the vote our people gave Unity Party and the effort they have given our people, a commensurate rate, the disparity is huge. Key position, how many is in Nima? The security sector, key position there, Lofa. The whole financial sector, Lofa County. You go to education, you go to strategic area, they are all Lofa County. But when they look at one Nima man again, one small position, the government doing well. Yeah, we agree. When we say we are opposition anyway, but let's be very realistic. Is it not the same thing you say, President? We are there, he never gave enough job to Nima people. So what's the difference? What have changed? And the thing, this is our first time we have produced VAR president 2 times. Dogodie and Moses Zebla. So nobody should make VAR presidency to be anything that is Nima first time producing VAR presidency. No. You get the presidency, but you told the financial sector. Then you give VAR presidency, you get VAR president. What are you making noise for? Madam Salif, she appointed Francis Kokpo to be the head of the judiciary. She still gave plenty job to the people in Nima. So she used to say because Justice Francis Kokpo was the chief justice, the head of the judiciary, then Nima get enough. She was meticulous enough to give more and very, very generous to the people of Nima for looking after her every time, helping her. The government that one way, I think a little over 20,000 votes. But see the vote? In Lofa, Unity Party has 70 or 75,000, and CDC had 35,000. So it means it was like 50% CDC took from the in Lofa. In Nima, CDC had 53,000 plus, and Unity Party have 150 some more thousand. We got 20% of the, or 20, 25, 26, 27% of the vote in Nima. But we make this administration, in all fairness, look around. The key decision makers, the kitchen cabinet, how many anybody in there? But when you call them and they will say, oh, look, let's be realistic. We agree that you can't come out to talk, but we who the opposition to talk on your behalf. You people are qualified, you people are competent, and you all deserve better because people were in the ring. You all fought hard. You fought hard for this. It was not Lofa alone. The president kitchen cabinet. At times the vice president is not there. Only when you invite him. Who from Nima there? Where key decisions are made. Who from Nima there? I just said that question. But when you say it today, you say, oh, Nima put your one all. Even the gay 75% of Liberia will say, okay, balance 25%. But the way you work, the how you to get paid. On judgment day, God say you will pay up per the way we work. So what we'll do in heaven, we should start down here.
Yeah. I got something to add real quick while you continue that. You mentioned something about the people. Some people don't want to talk; they're quiet. You know, you that in opposition, you let them allow you to speak for them. I think you also watched their GB thing yesterday in Ganta there. What is your assessment of the way people are feeling in Nimba County now, both from folks who supported this regime and those who did not? And I feel, again, I've said it over and over, I feel what you just said or what you're saying, that's what most people are saying, but they are not in the position to come on air or take radio to be brave enough to voice their opinion or their dissatisfaction because the fear of being caught up. Yeah.
But this is where we miss one single verse. This is where we miss one single verse. Senator Johnson, if you are living and he just told one time, it can't be easy.
Yeah, behind the pulpit.
You go to your church and say political gospel or social gospel. And you'll fire from there. And you know, when I was his party secretary general, at times you go and say, Papa, don't turn it in your Google. You say, okay, no problem, my son, I will listen. But yeah, from there, the next 10, 15 minutes, they may have a press conference to your house. Don't you get it? Like, hey, distinguished, I spoil your face. Your face. My man, he was. But let's be honest. I listened to Prentice, my GM brother Prentice Thomas, say the reason is that they gave Nima people a job, but the people who in the job, they're not doing well for the people they are mean. Well, man, we all been appointed. We know what it takes. There are certain job, before you more in your salary, say you're going. But there are certain job, you don't even think about salary. And at the job, they in Lofa County. At the job, they in Lofa County. The one in Lofa, you don't have to think about salary. But the one in Nima, you're waiting on salary. So how the people will not be me? The man, before the month ends, you know what happened? The man, the other person coming, oh, my woman gave birth, my child not well. This one, just imagine those who are not working. Having when you come to my house on a Sunday, you'll feel sorry for me.
Wow.
People coming. Do you help me with school fees? Do you do the one for me? Do you do the one for me? That's it.
So imagine
you get $1,000 with you before you make all your money, everything finished. You can't hear about nothing. Sarah knows the story. Sometimes when I'm bro, I just got to put my whole phone off and just go. You can't and be there quietly. So that's what is happening. Now that those in power, they choose to be mean. But the mean's not there to do. They want to help. But how do they help? When they are squarely depending on their salary. But other boys in Lofa County, they're not depending on salary because they are controlling the financial sector. They know how to get the money. So, in expectation, when some of us, we employ over 50, 60 Nimbanians, people thought it was just fun. But it takes men to stand up and say, look, Mr. President, we need to help our young people. And when President Weah went campaign and said, Garrison, if we win the election, any position we give you, help most of the young people of Nimba. I feel proud. He said that in Ban. He also said it in Tapeta. And that one thing I can tell people, right? They'll say, oh, your President Weah business about. But obviously, can I be sincere? Somebody who call you your brother, who will sit down by himself and call you and check on you. Oh, my brother, how you coming on? How's everything with you? I hope everything is fine. Oh, I'm trying. Oh. Look, I don't need money for him. That alone. When he says it, I say, wow. So now you wake up, you see a missed call, he send you text to check on you. It's more than giving me $1 million. I can feel big. No, me gave you an instant on his birthday. I have gone to the court and I decided to go to pay my respect to him. So I told my little daughter, come let's go. She said, I won't go because people been trying to tell us, say, you're fighting for president. We are in president. We will do nothing for him. Doesn't recognize him, this and that. So when they opened the door, I went inside. He was sitting. So when he saw me, he just wake up and came and embrace me. He said, brother, welcome. I said, Chief, happy birthday. He said, oh, come and have a seat by me. Let's talk. And then I said, this is my daughter. And he gave her a seat. So she sat and said, wow. The thing we're hearing outside is different from what I'm seeing here today. Recognition alone, my brother, is bigger than anything.
Yeah.
And the man who gives me recognition, you say go and deceive the man. For heaven's sake, man. That is not the Nema country I know we are from. Our people never taught us to be deceitful. We are bold people. We are honest people. And today, because of the decision, some of us talk in 2023. When people talk, they say there are few men in Nema who will stand their ground. So the version of Nema, where people will say Nema people they are deceptive. There is also another version that will say the Nema people, they are people who are committed.
Loyal people.
Loyal people. And it's because of our loyalness, people can take advantage of us. But I can say to anybody, I don't need money from anybody, but recognition alone, it is bigger than anything. Yeah, that is bigger to me than anything. So I think on the discussion that you invited me for, I think the senator should rethink.
Right.
The Constitution is clear. Article 34D is very clear that function is for the House of Representatives. They should allow it. If they want to do a joint leadership, that's what expediency about. That's why leadership comes in. They should meet in leadership and say, look, for you people to finish with the budget before we start hearing the budget will not be good for us. Let's do it jointly as we have always done traditionally. Let's do it jointly. And even as that, the lower house will pass it before they forward it to the House of Senate for them to either amend or concur with it before they send it to the president. It is very good for time, and it's good because you will not be having that too much lockdown on the budget where you'll be using 1/12 of the budget. The projects will be going on because if you have the budget there for 3 months, the executive will be operating 1/12 as per the PFN law, which will not be good. I mean, they will only be on direct salary. So stationary will start finishing at more offices. A lot of things will start happening to people. Essential jobs will start finishing from the hospital. Trucks, stationary will be leaving the schools. So for time's sake, leadership needs to meet and have a conversation and say, look, gentlemen, is your right. But as the culture and tradition dictates to us that we have been doing since the post-war era, let's continue on that same path. Let's do it jointly together. And then from there, your pastor, you're sending to us, then we will concord with you people. That's the way to go. But there's too much power fight. We are the senator. We are the representative. I told somebody, I said, look, the most powerful house of the two is the House of Representatives. Because Article 1 says all power is inherent in the people. And who is the direct representation of the people? It's the representatives. That what when both houses, when they are in joint session, the speaker presides. Why do you think the legislature, the head of the legislature is not this vice president, is not the pro tem, it's the speaker? Because that's the people's power. And you don't play with the people's power. So
thank you.
I think for expediency, so we cannot have some of these things procrastinating, prolonged. It is better leadership meets on the matter and find a way for rather than showing and saying, we are the senator, we will do it our way. Well, no, man, the Constitution is the guardian tools you have. Use the Constitution. So when the representatives are saying, okay, saying that is okay, we are here too. We are part of the legislature. We also will be having our confirmation hearing. That power is exclusively for what?
Senate.
The senators. So you know what we'll be doing? We'll be start having serious constitutional crisis in this country, and that's where they want us to go.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, Councillor Garrison Dode Yelu Jr. This whole budget thing tonight, you speak on it a bit, but I want you to please appear here on Sunday so that we can dive into it. You got more knowledge about this thing. ArcelorMittal Liberia signing bonus of 200 million is within the fiscal year 2026. That money is included in the budget. But after doing some of the readings and stuff, we get to realize that the county-owned institution, like for example, the Nima University, got little or nothing from the 2026 national budget. But the pro-tem money increased heavily, the speaker budget increased heavily, and Nima people have been complaining that ArcelorMittal is not doing much for us. Look at the roads, look at the water we are drinking. Our children are not getting the benefit it's supposed to get. But this will be a long, long conversation, and I want you to come here on Sunday so that we can dive into it very well. People have been advocating.
That would actually be good. And you know the smart thing, you see, the Unity Party guys, they are very funny and they are very smart. They don't want to have a separate MDA hearing or blog, all this and that. They embed it all into the national budget. So when you already pass the national budget, do you have anything now? Yan Twain will vote for Senator Yan Twain will vote for that budget because of a party sending the budget, and then you come from there and say, I agree to the MDA. Is implied. But anyway, we'll be looking at it on Sunday. A good Sunday. I will leave from Nima soon because we're waiting for the bar convention from Thursday. We'll be there up to Sunday, but I'll leave Sunday morning to come or Saturday evening when I come from. But honestly, I will appear on the show.
Yeah, because that Nima network can give you hard time. Try to come do it from Monrovia.
Yeah, I will come soon because in Nima it can be a bit difficult. So I will take time to get the copy of the budget online, and then I will analyze it, and then we can go through it. Because some of the issues we have said, look at the budget. Take a keen look at Nima University budget and Lofat University budget. A few things I pick up from the budget. Do you know that Lofat University get more money than Nima?
So, Council, don't eat our reset before reset period. Keep it for us, and then on Sunday we'll dive into it.
Yeah, because there was a quick impromptu appearance.
Downtown United Methodist is still fighting to even get 200,000, but Phoebe get millions. Cottington I'm sure Cottington is 1.2 million, but they are all private institutions. But how many private institutions in Lima get that kind of money? The PYJ school over there. That's why you see my post this morning, you get the commissarios and Demison say they want to review it before I put it out. There is no legacy, nothing Senator Johnson in his grave he will ever want to see happen more than his school functioning in his name. And if anybody wants to remember Senator Johnson, is to make sure a water factory functioning, a PYJ water, put his name on the bags of the water. The radio station you got in Nimat, you got to keep it on. The school got to be on. Senator Johnson died 1 year ago, the school gone. 1 year ago, I think 1 year, 3 days now. He was not even talking about 2-3 years. But there is a man that left the comfort zone to campaign for the rescue mission in the bush, in the trench, everywhere. He's gone. He is gone. What thing we can remember him of? You saw.
But Council, November 28 was his 1 year since he demised, and you didn't go there. Why?
No, because I can be going for the old man demise, always will be crying we're losing one of our strong statement, and people planning fundraiser. They're the same people that would be there. They're having fundraiser, GB party, and all this stuff. Look, I don't pretend. That is unfair.
So you think they plan those two things together because folks that I've talked to here, they have
How you say you went there today, the next day you're just in black clothes yesterday. Today you in white t-shirt, you dancing all around so in GB. How you remember this old man now? Look,
Thank you.
the
Thank you
whole
so
week,
much.
the whole week should be kept for him. We should remember his legacy, what he did for the country. Look, I mean, take the truth today. If there was nothing else Senator Johnson ever did, we would never agree on our policy issue. But when I received that call from him in the beginning of November last year to tell me, you my son, we need to work together like we were before. When I come from Ganta, we need to sit down and talk. May his soul rest in peace. The day I should have met him, it was the day we had the argument for the majority block at this, the Honorable Librarian Senate. And the next day, we heard about his death. But he extended on the branch to me. And that, in fact, my driver said, recall him. I said, no, I don't recall people. You understand? So I'm just saying to you, brother, all we can do for this country, all we can do for that old man is to maintain our legacy. If this government was CDC government, and we're going to be beyond President Weah to make sure that school is open for the children to go there, to keep that his legacy. Nothing else. I'm sure that old man, he is grave, he raving, he crying at his grave because that is school. You know how much he invested? So they deposit, the man never left any money because he put all in our school. He put all in our school. That's the biggest legacy. If we will ever remove Senator Johnson for anything, oh yeah, the kidney Doe, most of the young people, they don't know who was Samuel Doe, not the you and myself. But most of the young people, they feel proud that Senator Johnson put PYG put the technique. That's what they feel proud of. Anyway, honestly, just like my brother having called me, but I'm already trying to doze to sleep and go to Moyon.
My brother, you do well. You do well. We'll talk about Real Madrid, Man U game after. We'll call you tomorrow. We'll talk about it.
But anyway, you know what? I used to love Man U, but you know what? Why you people the way you treated Ronaldo, my problem I get with you.
Yeah.
But the team that I left England, the Arsenal, those people then who won trophy 2004.
Yeah.
And they put one people game, but say they drew with Chelsea because Chelsea red.
They can always go there, but they can't reach. They're always up there. They can't reach.
They can hear wrong. If my little brother is listening to me today, he and Sarah, then I don't mind, you know, they are backup Arsenal people then. Backup people then. So yesterday on my post, when they drew with Arsenal forced them to a draw attacking, but he didn't come there waiting for him. But I just saw him not coming, getting active when Madrid drew again, then he became active. I said, look at the yellow jack for you. But anyway, let me see.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Sunday.
And so that was the voice of Councillor Gary Sindor Yelu Jr. Councillor Yelu is the former representative of Electoral District for Nima County. And of course, he is currently a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change. He spoke to us vexingly regarding the post made by Senator Abraham Darius Dillon of Montserrado County in response to the communication sent to the Honorable Speaker Richard Nangbe Kong by Musa Hassan Belete, the representative of Electoral District 7, Nima County. And again, folks would like to say thank you for being there. Keep listening to us. Share the show with people. Now, we stay here for the post-analysis era of the show, CEO. My brother Cyrus, I think on few occasions, I've taken to my Facebook page that they need to reintroduce civic teaching in our various institutions. It is not only the Honorable Senator. It's not unique to Senator Abraham Darius Dillon. A lot of people misinterpret the law, especially for our fundamental rights and responsibility in Liberia, things that people supposed to know is being misinterpreted within our country. People override power. People overdo things only because we as citizens, we do not know our rights and responsibilities. Article 10 of the 1986 Constitution gave us that privilege that the Constitution should be taught in every learning institution within a country. But how many of the high school students graduating today that can tell you their fundamental rights? I will tell you, this is my rights. With this right, these are my responsibilities. How many of them? And the Ministry of Education is sitting there. And I think the next point of advocacy should be the Liberian National Bar Association that interprets the law. Because they themselves, they are getting it difficult nowadays. Imagine a senator who made a law cannot interpret that law. Then where are we heading? It's getting embarrassing. And I think if care is not taken, like Councillor Yelu said tonight, we might find ourselves in different situation where our constitution will be heavily violated again. Like it happened in 1985 during the election of Samuel Kanyando. It happened under this regime with 10 new positions being taken from people. This is the same place we're going. Now, this budget is very key to the Liberian people. 1.2 billion. That's first of its kind in post-war Liberia. But it is being tackled like this, like that, for people to not understand how the budget is being run, how it's being operated, how it's being heard. Look at the budget of the speaker, how it increased. Look at the budget of the Senate Pro Tem, how it increased. The president budget, the vice president budget. These things the people have to understand as to why these budgets have increased like this. But those with the responsibility, those with the primary responsibility, they are not executing that. Another set of people going to execute on their behalf. It's troublesome. It's worrisome. But I will stop here for now. See you. Let's hear you then. My veteran Leonard colleague Cyrus will close up.
Yeah, so basically, again, I reached out to the council abruptly, and again, I'm appreciative of the fact that he answered and he was willing to come, and it was an abrupt appearance. So we look forward to hosting him on Sunday. It's going to be more detailed. We'll have all our panelists here, and then there'll be more planning and things like that. So it was a great thing. I, again, not a legal person, but looking at what the senator wrote, I think he's trying to interpret the law, maybe make it sound nice to what he's doing or what their actions are. But if the law says X, Y, Z, I think it should be X, Y, Z. And I was making reference to the U.S. government here. You know, our constitution, our old form of government kind of bear that, where they had to do it when they have bill, especially a budget like this. If it doesn't go through that process, especially from the lower house, they can shut it. They shut the government down here for over, I think, 45 days. Like I forgot the count. So my only concern was if you are doing it together, who's going to critique it? Who's going to be able to check each other and all that? So I'm glad that we were able to get a legal person, including you guys, to come on here and disagree with him and disagree with what he wrote, and also agree with what honorability request is. So yeah, it has been a good show. Thanks to you and Cyrus and all our listeners and followers. We want to say thanks to all of them. And we'll be back here tomorrow again with another edition of BKS TV, the Heat Hour Live.
Thank you. Thank you so much, CEO. Cyrus, my brother, let's hear you, Chief.
Thank you, Gaso. You know, Liberia is It's why it is because the Liberians do not understand what laws are. Liberians are not even law about it. You know, the country, almost everyone is a lawyer. People interpret law in their own way, especially so the way it suits them, the way it matches their scenario and things. That's why the country is running the way it is running. And the UP government is not a respecter of the rule of law. This government, this particular government, said this government started with violation and they will end with violation. The code of conduct was one of the bedrocks of their campaign. Every time they go to places, code of conduct. I know they will talk about drugs during the campaign. I know they will talk about drugs, code of conduct, dead body, and all sort of things. You know, Liberia does not have cyber security law, so people can post anything. People will go, people will take their body from Sierra Leone, they will post it and say that Liberia, Mo Ali them, Patrick Honor them, only because they needed power. You see, Senator DeLong, people need to be careful with people like Senator DeLong because when they continue to listen to them, they will mislead them all of the time. And you know what he does? If you remember, go check out his old post during the removal, that impasse, that legislative impasse involving the former speaker. DeLong supported the process. They see DeLong today, he supported the process. He said, the court should not interfere with legislative politics. He did not see the legal aspect of Fanati removal. He didn't see it at the time. A few days ago, when DeLong, I think that Julius Jazz or somebody interviewed DeLong on OKFM. You know what DeLong said? DeLong said the Unity Party government tried to lock down their own government for going after somebody who is harmless. He went after him, and the process was not lawful. I think DeLong just supported it when they were removing the man. Go here, you only did not do that thing. They start doing business with the self-star speaker at the time. They started doing business. They said the fact that the executive is doing business, they too started doing business with Speaker Kufa and his group. But then the Supreme Court had warned. The Supreme Court had warned that nobody should do business with either factions until they can go in-house to settle their differences. But they don't just admit it. Just, I think 2 weeks ago, that Baraka government chased out Fanati and Fanati was harmless, and that the process leading to the removal of the speaker was unlawful. I see, man, just wait, by January, February, they will come back again to say the government intention there to have 2 budget hearings. And the gentleman will talk about it. You know anybody that people can take serious? You know, most of the time, people, you don't have to be lawyer before you know basic thing about law. Law is big. Law is big. So if you are a citizen, for instance, if civics were taught in our school, now that young people coming up will grow up with that knowledge, they will know what government is, to the extent that, you know, it was disgraceful that the woman could not even define government. Somebody who always brag about being so educated, the answer, what is government? She doesn't know. She had to say that funny thing she said the other day. Because, you know what? People, I don't know why the curriculum had to even omit the portion that has to do with civics. for citizens to know their fundamental rights, to know what is wrong, what is right, to know about the functions of the state, how government runs. The separation of power doctrines is clear. The powers are shared into three, but there are coordinations consistent with law. Today, during my thesis, I came across something. It was very strange. Article 21 H and G. Specifically, G said 21, Article 21, RC 1986 Constitution. G said before police arrest you, the police must go to court to seek arrest warrant from the court. But like in Liberia, police go all over the place. They just arrest people. They see you anywhere, they arrest you without arrest warrant. Even if Junior, if you go to Liberia as a lawyer, if they come to arrest you, you resist it on grounds that they should show you arrest warrant from the court, the man will beat on you. They will drag you, they will disgrace you. So the good way to do it, the fact that people are already used to the system when they can't arrest you, you submit yourself to whatever they want to do, you go with it. If you just try to even as Liberian officers can be so annoyed, they can be so irritated, they can get in feelings when you ask them simple question, what have I done? What is my crime? The law says before you arrest a person, you must inform this person of the crime charged. What did this person do? What warranted this arrest, and which court issued the arrest warrant? But going like, bro, Gregor Common Police go tell them, say, what did I do? The first thing, it will irritate them. They will start dragging you. During the election, I told people that Abdul Moliba, the lawyer. Abdul and the other guy, I thought they were lawyers. You could see them quoting the code of conduct. One thing Liberians need to know, they got statutory law and they got constitution. There are laws we have in Liberia that are in violation of the constitution. And if you read several provisions of the constitution, I think 17, it says any law that violates or contradicts the constitution shall be null and void. The code of conduct, if you read that code of conduct, several provisions in the code of conduct need to be amended. They are in violation of the constitution. The constitution guarantees association, the right to associate. It was enumerated either with church, either with religious group, either with political party, and then the code of conduct restricts that right. That's some of the contradiction the constitution was mentioning. But then, because it was Garrison Yellow, Abdul, the other guy who appeared that night, Alfonso Cotto, Bob Cato, and the rest of the guys, I thought they were lawyers. You could always hear the man wearing party shirt. The man is Alfonso Array on the show just recently defending the same party shirt when arrested. Most of the things outlined in the code of conduct violates the constitution. It suppresses what is guaranteed in the constitution. John, you are a student of law. The law says the constitution is the hierarchy of law for every country. So where a statutory law made by legislature, if the law is in contradiction, then there is no that law. Several provisions of some of our laws need to be amended. But I mean, it's a very good discussion. It will be a good thing that people who have connection with Ministry of Education to reach out to them to include civics in our national curriculum for people to get to know some of these basic things. They should teach the Constitution. In fact, to a certain level, they should teach other penal law, other civil procedure law, some of these things, when people get the basic knowledge, even if you don't want to be a lawyer, you will know how to operate. If you wonder, I won't put you about the people. The people are law abiding people because all of these things are taught in school. So before you commit a crime, you know the consequences thereof. You know, but our country, everybody is a lawyer. People do things, and you go even in bus, you go say in a public bus, you see the people arguing about things that they don't understand. Just hearsay. They can't hear things from people more the wrong way.
Thank
I
you.
think they
Thank
don't,
you.
especially so they don't have people. I think they don't talk. It going across. Those men that go to GB tomorrow, you hear them talking there. The city is right.
I'm not GB. Huh, Domo?
Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm highly disappointed in the honorary senator for misinterpreting the law. And I think he needs to be called to order when they go for session tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
When they
tomorrow.
go for
Yeah.
session tomorrow, he needs to be called to order. And that thing, it is not his first time doing it because of his proximity with other people in the legal profession. He thinks that he's more informed about the law, and the law doesn't go that way. That's why they have special people to interpret the law. Special people, not just anybody. It might look simple to you on the paper, but the interpretation of it, that's what make the law. You can read it. Yeah, you can read it, but can you interpret it to the ordinary people? That's the problem. That's why the lawyers come in. So I don't know whether he has any legal consultant in his office or he consulted his lawyers
The
before.
men are lawyer already. Why do you a legal consulting? But I think when he declare he asset, the federal code of conduct they can be referencing uh section 10.3 of that same code of conduct say before junior hold public office, junior must have published, declare and publish a asset. When they did not declare a asset, he was in the Senate though. The man who acted a lawyer all over the place, he was in the Senate, and that was in violation of the code of conduct. When the President Braga declared asset, he was president already of the Republic of Liberia before declaring asset. If we read section 10.2 of the 1972 executive law, it says ministerial position. It should come from every single county. Every single county must have one minister. Go tell us anything. I'm a minister from Lofa. You see? That we get respect. We have all the good laws. But man, I can be thinking, what if we take some of these guys to court? But again, most of these guys, the civil society group, they are compromised, they need money from government. What if you even take them to court for misinforming the public? You know that thing they don't you know how many people are grabbing? You take them in to court. You know, Paga said he take him to court. He said, why are you violating the law? The law said every county, no minister
Yeah,
come from IDB.
the level of
Go check.
impunity that presidents have in Liberia,
No
I'm
minister from
shocked. I mean,
IDB. IDB don't get one minister. Go check. It's a violation.
but anyways, the counselor will be here on Sunday and we'll dive into the conversation vividly because he has more knowledge about that. I wanted to ask him tonight with the issue of conflict of interest. The president of the Liberian National Bar Association, Councillor Boba Farman, was recently appointed by President Joseph Human Boakai to serve as the chief executive officer for the Law Reform Committee in Liberia. And he's currently the president of the Liberian National Bar Association. I'm still trying to get that correctly from the Bar Constitution, but I'm pretty sure they're going for a convention next week. And if Councillor Garrison appears here on Sunday, we'll be asking him those questions. But I'm hoping and praying because this is where we have the whole tango rigmarole, somebody misinterpreting the law, somebody doing this, somebody doing that. But again, we will be here on Sunday and we'll discuss the issue vividly. It has been a wonderful conversation with all of you. My brother Sarah's Danko will be graduating on the 12th of this month. We're counting days to go. We just left with 10 days to go. And of course, the LLB will be confirmed. You guys can carry your BSc for us. We after LLB. It's a very
Legal scholars. So congratulations to scholars in advance. It takes a lot. Education is important, and especially learning in a strange land can be challenging. Congrats in advance.
Thank you, CEO.
Thank you.
Thank you, Junior. Thank you for the compliment, my brother.
All right,
See
good
you
night.
guys tomorrow.